Elon Musk accusing OpenAI, problems with GPT-5, and new neural networks from Sam Altman. Also in store today, we find out what Chinese humanoid robots unexpectedly learned and why the US is reviving Project Valkyrie. This and more tech news in this episode. Here we go, folks! After Mercedes, BMW, and a little-known Chinese electric car manufacturer NIO, Magna International announced its own production of humanoid robots. Magna is a manufacturer of parts for brands such as Ferrari, Volkswagen, BYD, and 55 other companies. It's entered into a strategic partnership with Canadian startup Sanctuary AI and plans to adapt their Phoenix humanoid robot, quote, for different tasks. This is interesting, because while previously Mercedes and Apptronic and BMW and Figure have been streamlining specific tasks for robots, their talking points have generally been about carrying boxes, similar to the tasks that Agility Robotics Digit performs for clients like Amazon and GXO Logistics. The Phoenix robot has never resorted to such trivial tasks. We've seen its predecessor with tweezers, with the pipette, wiping leaves, and opening Ziploc bags. To be honest, we haven't seen the robot walk at all. The company's initial focus is on manual dexterity, comparable to humans, on subtle and precise handling. And since March of 2024, the company has been working with NVIDIA, testing their latest AI platform for training and developing humanoid robots. We can expect to see what humanoid robots are built for, namely, flexible, adaptive performance of skilled human tasks. We are on the edge of our seats about this one, so stay tuned for more updates, because once we know, you'll know. The release of GPT-5 may be delayed for a rather unexpected reason. Not enough quality data to train the next generation model from the entire internet. Reputable media outlets block access to their content. Authors defend their rights in court. Unreliable content on the web will ruin all the work, and you can't train an AI on data generated by another AI. It leads to degradation and stupidity. Obviously, not only OpenAI has faced this problem, but also competitors such as Anthropic. The scale of the disaster becomes clear when you start comparing the amount of information required for GPT-5 training with something tangible. For example, the new generation of artificial intelligence requires about 100 trillion tokens for training, which is about 400 billion letter-sized or A4 pages or 1 billion books. For comparison, the British Library, considered the largest in the world, contains 170 million books. So far, the developers are solving this issue with the help of podcasts and recordings of public speeches, but they clearly will not cover the entire volume of educational materials needed. Therefore, Google and OpenAI are thinking about creating a data marketplace for training neural networks. It will determine how useful certain information is for a particular model and what price would be fair. Seems like a new business model is afoot. After all, neural networks are not going anywhere. Microsoft and OpenAI are jointly launching a grandiose project called Stargate. Details are still scarce. We only know that it will be the most powerful supercomputer in the world, worth about $100 billion. Its main and only goal will be to reach new heights in neural networks and computing systems. The supercomputer is scheduled to be launched according to various reports in 2028 or 2030. Most of the cost will come from the purchase of millions of chips, including NVIDIA Blackwell B200 chips, which cost about $30,000 to $40,000 apiece. A number of experts believe that the companies will not meet the estimate and they will have to add 10 to 15 billion on top of that. But it will definitely be the most powerful data center in the world. Meanwhile, OpenAI neural networks continue to amaze users. For example, the recently introduced Sora shot the first music video for Worldwide by August Camp. The musician called the result a work of art and said that the algorithm was finally able to convey the song as the author sees it. What do you guys think? Is this a masterpiece of a music video or incoherent images spliced together? Let us know in the comments. With Sora in mind, we are here to tell you that Sam Altman's company was afraid to launch its other product into the world. We're talking about an AI that copies any voice with a 15-second soundtrack. Preliminary testing of Voice Engine has shown surprisingly cool and realistic results, but the company is concerned about potential security issues. Such a neural network most likely shouldn't be freely available, right? The voice generated by the AI is very close to the original and can read out any text in different languages. The service can be used for good purposes. For example, Age of Learning got early access to the model to create voice-over narration for educational materials. HeyGen translates promotional videos to introduce products to new markets. The translation process preserves the speaker's style and accent. Another startup, Lifespan, has launched a pilot program that allows people with speech impediments to communicate using AI. But for widespread use of the tool, it's still necessary to work out security issues, for example, to create a stop list for the voices of famous personalities. But who will protect ordinary people from fakes and fraud? Do we have any experts in the house? What's your take? A Chinese humanoid robot from UBTech is trying to step on the heels of Figure 1. Citalo got a job at a BMW factory as Walker S shone a spotlight on Chinese electric car production. And not a week after Figure started talking thanks to artificial intelligence from OpenAI, UBTech's Android has spoken too. Its natural speech and real-time reasoning ability is based on a large language model developed by Chinese giant Baidu. ErnieBot, a multimodal artificial intelligence platform, was launched last year. And judging by the demonstration, the response time of a robot with it on board is about the same as that of a robot with an improved version of GPT. And yes, Walker S has also learned how to fold t-shirts, although in the video we can't follow the entire process, for example, not gripping the fabric. Thus, UBTech demonstrates that it is not averse to competing for jobs with humanoid robots. And something tells us that the Chinese company's pricing policy may be more favorable than that of its competitors. The South by Southwest Conference recently closed in Austin, Texas. A plethora of experts participated and delivered keynotes in the field of robotics and artificial intelligence. The most visually striking was a performance by Apptronic's Apollo robot, which tried its hand at being a stand-up comedian. And the most interesting was an interview with Ray Kurzweil. He explained how his predictions about the future have changed due to the emergence of GPT and other large language models, and also shared his opinion on what two key technologies are needed for humanity to reach singularity. More about future predictions from Ray Kurzweil, Elon Musk, and other visionaries in our next video, so subscribe to stay tuned. NASA has selected 3 companies to develop lunar rovers that astronauts will drive on the moon during the Artemis missions. The agency has already awarded $4.6 billion in contracts to Intuitive Machines, Lunar Outpost, and Venturi Astrolab. According to NASA, this will not be a repeat of the Mars rovers used in later Apollo missions. Those vehicles were designed to operate for only a few hours and reach top speeds of only 11 miles or 18 kilometers per hour. Given that now we're talking about larger missions, the new lunar cars will have to have greater capacity, speed, and range. And they will also have to withstand the harsh conditions of the moon's south polar region, including total darkness and the freezing cold of the 14-day lunar night. But most importantly, in the absence of astronauts, the moon rovers will have to perform autonomous missions. Over the next year, the companies will develop a design that best meets NASA's requirements, after which the agency is expected to select the final winner, which will receive the full development contract. Recently, 3 stunning pieces of news appeared in the media. The source of the first was the official Boston Dynamics account. It announced the company's partnership with a startup that designs, manufactures, and launches groundbreaking vertical takeoff and landing personal aviation systems called jet suits. The announcement said, among other things, that the 2 companies aim to pioneer a new trend of flying humanoids and are already testing the Atlas robot over Boston Harbor. Future applications being considered include inspecting and repairing wind turbines, controlling fires, cleaning skyscraper windows, getting a hold of lost balloons, and more. Atlas will also compete in the annual jetpack race alongside humans. Richard Browning, founder of Jetsuits, confirmed the collaboration and stated that he was happy to be personally involved in making science fiction a reality. The second shocking news was Amazon's announcement that the company was shutting down its network of cashierless smart stores. The entire idea was that a customer came in, took stuff off the shelf, and left. At the exit, special devices scanned the contents of this bag and the customer was billed online. It turns out the technology was imperfect and remote workers from India were responsible for the accuracy of the shopping list. They were the ones who kept track of what items the customer was actually picking up and made the final lists for billing. Looks like now hundreds of people in India will be out of work. And finally, the third piece of news. The Chinese will deliver parcels around the world using reusable rockets. The project is being handled by Alibaba, owner of the AliExpress marketplace, in conjunction with local startup Space Epoch. In theory, the rocket will be able to take up to 10 tons of cargo and fly anywhere in the world in an hour. So much for the future already being here, huh? Here's the kicker though, all three news stories have something in common. They were released on April Fools, although they received a lot of media attention, including in the following days. What's real and what's a joke? Let us know in the comments what you think. Meanwhile, the technological race between the US and China is in full throttle. Remember how the US said that the PRC will not have 7 nanometer processors anytime soon? Well, China just announced that they are already being produced in the country. The US conducted an interagency investigation into how this could have happened and concluded that yes, there is equipment for production in China, but it's not domestic. The suppliers are understood to be ASML, a Dutch company, and therefore Dutch authorities must impose appropriate sanctions. By the way, we have a video comparing US and Chinese tech developments in different industries. Check it out in the description. The Valkyrie robot, which was once developed as a robot astronaut for NASA but then abandoned, suddenly resurfaced on YouTube. Now, however, judging by the video, developers are thinking about industrial applications for the humanoid. Very current. In this scenario, Valkyrie uses external sensors and tools to explore the room for objects of interest and eliminate any hazards. And just because the robot didn't live up to the high standards of space, that doesn't mean it can't handle simple tasks in a factory, right? They should probably rename it though. Researchers at Columbia University's Creative Machines Lab have taught their humanoid robot, or rather its head, to communicate non-verbally. For example, the robot can anticipate a smile and respond. The bot, called Emo, is designed to improve the android's communication skills. Emo's face consists of 26 actuators that are responsible for facial expressions. High-resolution cameras in both pupils allow the robot to make eye contact necessary for nonverbal communication. It's noteworthy that the robot trained itself in front of a mirror by trial and error. Already in possession of a library of facial expressions and their interpretations, it simply tried moving its face and seeing what happens. But so far, its attempts look a little intimidating. Or not. What do you guys think? The future is already here, at least in the American heartland. The mini-market chain Roundup, for example, has announced that it's installing wingman robots from Nala Robotics in its stores nationwide. It's a robotic chef that deep fries chicken, potatoes, and other foods. The company isn't going to stop with the robot alone. Roundup founder Michael Salafia says that, quote, by harnessing the power of artificial intelligence, we can provide our customers with a convenient, personalized, and safe shopping and dining experience, end quote. Incidentally, McDonald's has also been trying to introduce robots into its fast food chain for some time now. But apparently, students are still cheaper and more reliable. Otherwise, all of the chain's restaurants would have been robotized by now. Boston Dynamics Spot robot has gotten a significant update. The company considers its forte to be dynamic robots that are nimble, fast, and powerful. So the company let customers experiment with tasks and different attachments for the robot, but never let them tweak how it walks. The user could only give the robot a target, and Spot would choose how to reach it. Now, Spot's new version includes a low-level application programming interface, API, that enables collaborative control of the robot. This will give almost complete control over how the robot moves its legs, allowing developers to put the robot's capabilities to the test. After all, no one really knows what it can do, as Boston Dynamics has always had a strict safety policy. For example, there are rumors that the robot is actually much faster and can climb way higher than we've been shown. If you got one of them bad boys laying around in the garage and want to share, shoot us a message. Would you label Apple's recent decision as quite sensational? Instead of electric or robot cars, the company decided to develop a home robot. It's reported that the company decided to create an autonomous robot that can follow the user and do housework, such as washing dishes. It's clear that this isn't going to happen tomorrow, but the company does have something up its sleeve. For example, some AI developments and a robotic display that can follow the user and give nonverbal signs such as nodding. Fingers crossed, Apple will come up with something better than Amazon Astro for $1,600. Elon Musk is roaring of unfair competition, or rather, poaching by OpenAI. And we're not talking about stealing tech, but leading AI developers away from Tesla, promising them ginormous compensation packages. This in turn forced Musk to raise engineers' salaries. Look, ma, competition does work. Google is thinking of introducing an artificial intelligence search fee. This would be the first time that one of the company's core products would become a paid product. Google is considering adding AI-powered features to premium subscription services, including Gemini Assistant in Gmail and Docs. Technology development for this service is ongoing, and a final decision on the launch is yet to be made. Google's traditional search service will remain free, but ads will be seen by everyone, including those who have paid. It's still unclear when and how AI-based search will be available to users, but the company hasn't ruled out adding some features to the main search engine as well. Hyundai unveiled a new robot that can deliver coffee, food, and parcels to office spaces and hotels. The DLA-E can carry up to 22 pounds or 10 kilos of cargo, or up to 16 cups of coffee to customers, recognizing their faces using AI. The robot is built on Hyundai's plug-and-drive platform with intelligent steering, braking, electric drive, and suspension in one modular unit. DAL-E delivery features 4 plug-and-drive modules at once with advanced suspension to ensure that not a single drop of coffee from your cup spills out. Built-in sensors allow the delivery bot to navigate in complex environments at speeds of just over 3 feet or 1 meter per second, avoid obstacles, and calculate the best route in real time. The robot can also interact with door and elevator control systems in office buildings. No info on security features, but we can already hear hackers drooling. Neura and Omron Robotics have just announced their partnership. What makes this news notable? Well, Omron is a major manufacturer of industrial and collaborative robots, and Neura is a startup developing artificial intelligence and sensor technologies for, that's right, robots. Usually, such technologies are more focused on the service industry, but Neura has taken an unconventional route, deciding to transfer cognitive abilities specifically to industrial machines. According to the company's spokesperson, quote, "Unlike traditional industrial robots, cognitive robots are able to learn from their environment, make decisions autonomously, and adapt to dynamic production scenarios," end quote. The startup is also working on a robot app development platform that would be as easy to use as a smartphone. As a result, Neura and Omron Robotics can expect a new class of industrial robots that are self-learning, safe to work alongside humans, adaptable, and easy to reconfigure for new tasks. Japanese engineers also contribute to humanoid robots R&D. For example, a team from the Graduate School of Information Science and Technology at the University of Tokyo, led by Kento Kawaharazuka, is developing a musculoskeletal humanoid that replicates the body structure of a human. The team has several designs in the works. This one, for example, called Musashi W, is on wheels to give the robot high reachability with human-like upper body dexterity. The robot is trained to clean, carry heavy objects, set the table, and other useful tasks. There's one with legs called Musashi O Legs Robot. It too is trained to do all sorts of things like step on the gas in a car. That's all well and good, but what's with the splits? Are they trying to get on the gymnastics team? Musashi O'Legs is also being trained to ride a chair. Perhaps one day to work in an office? We can't think of any other reason. Can you? Let us know in the comments. There's more, but we're out of time. Subscribe to the channel, like our videos, and join our community on Telegram. We got many more cool stories to come. Until then, bye-bye.